year for Christmas.
Wow.
And normally it's between 1,100 and 1,200, but it's over 1,500 this year.
What do you think? Is it because you keep hearing that the economy is doing better and the unemployment rate is lower than it was last year? I mean, what's happening that the numbers seem to be going up on
I
for
think
that
the
need?
economy's better, but it's still low-paying jobs. Minimum wage.
Sure.
People can't afford to pay their rent and utilities and
have
include
anything extra.
Yeah, exactly.
With the Mission for Area People, do you serve as long as somebody needs it, or is it one of these things where, all right, we're going to help you through 6 months to a year or something like that, or is it? God, lucky me, I've never had to turn to services like this, and it's tough because I've been around food pantries, I've been around food drives, I've gone down to help out at Loaves and Fishes downtown and all this kind of stuff. And, the people that you see there in line for the food are your friends and neighbors, and you don't stop and realize that the need is really that great, even with people that can put on the airs and not outwardly show the fact that they need this kind of assistance. I don't know if it's a time limit thing or if it's how does it work?
Well, with us, especially with our Healthy Choice Food Pantry, they can come three visits. And the fourth visit after that, then we hook them up with the MSU Extension Service, because to me, educational piece is very important, because I'd like to help them break this cycle of coming. So we try to do that, to help the educational piece, because we get a lot of young moms that don't know how to cook nutritionally for their children. So it's budgeting, it's nutrition. If they have the adequate income, but they're just not using it correctly, we'll refer them over to Love Inc.'s budgeting program.
Sure. I could use that myself.
After four times, then they will be cut off from our program until they get into a budgeting system, either MSU or Love Inc. But we always have the supper house that's available every night, 5 nights a week, that we can refer them to.
The food for that, where does that come from?
That comes from donations.
Yeah.
The food pantry is a little bit separate from MAP. They have their own committee. They do their own fundraising. They don't take any grants, so they do their own thing, and they depend on the churches that serve every night for their donation, and then they'll do some of their own fundraising for the food for that.
Some of the sad stories that you hear, and I'm sure you've dealt with the same thing, is some of the organizations talk about how they have families or individuals that donate every year. And then every once in a while, the following year, they've lost their job, and now all these people that have donated over the years are now on the receiving side of things.
We see that, yes,
and that's it's just so sad to know that you can go from having enough to be able to give and help those that need help, and then the next year you're the one that needs that help.
Absolutely, we've had many families that have done that. When some of the jobs left town, they would always give with their place of establishment there, and then their jobs went out of town, and then they lost their jobs, and then they were on unemployment, and then that ran out, and then they were at our doorstep, and they needed to have some help, and we were there for them.
We are talking to Dianne Wright Stubbs. I keep looking at your name just to make sure I don't get it wrong. And before we came on the air, I told her, I said, I'm getting to know now where women by their two names now, because everybody's on Facebook, and that's just how it is. But she's from Mission for Area People here in town. Let's talk about the need this Christmas. How many families is the Mission for Area People going to serve when it comes down to this particular Christmas this year? How many kids? How many families?
Over 1,500 children. This is the highest that we've ever done.
1,500 kids that are going to go with
kids.
Nothing. Do you run it? I hate to ask it, but do you run into scammers sometimes?
Absolutely. We do share lists with Salvation Army, with the White Lake Giving Tree, with North Muskegon, with Nelson Neighborhood. And we will give our list over to the Rescue Mission and to Catholic Charities. So, yes, and we have already run into some, and we've taken their name off the list, and we've notified the other places that give out Christmas too.
Yeah, because you want to help, but you don't want people taking advantage of it.
Exactly.
Because, if you've got one family that's going to 4 different organizations, that's 3 other families that are going to be out now because they decided to be greedy.
And absolutely.
The thought of that just makes me want to throw up.
But unfortunately, it happens. And,
I know, but
it does.
You stop and think about, okay, we're doing a charitable thing here. We want to do the right thing. We want to help somebody out that really needs it. But like we mentioned before we came on the air, the guy up on the corner of Seaway and Norton. I mean, he's got better clothes than I do, and he's standing out there every day of the week, going on and on about how he's homeless and hungry and all that. To me, what I just can't take is that the fact that somebody's willing to lie about the most desperate situation that a person can possibly be in. Because if you get down to being if you're begging, you're really, really hard
Desperate,
up.
right.
Desperate. And to turn that into a lie, it kind of makes it hard on everybody. But, I mean...
Well, we really practice good stewardship because our donations come from the community, and I'm a big stickler on being a good steward of what we're given, monetary, material donations. So we do check with DHS. We will call employers if we have to. So we will do the best screening possible to make sure that we are getting the accurate information.
Dianne, what's the process if there's a family out there that is in need and they need your help of the services that you offer? What steps do they go through to get that?
Call our office if they have a cell phone or a regular phone. Call our office and we will screen them, whether it's food or medical, clothing, whatever. Call our office. We'll pre-screen them. We will verify the information first, and then we will set them up. Whether if it's for food, we'll set them up an appointment. If it's medical. We call our area pharmacies that we work with, and we'll get that medication taken care of as long as it's not a narcotic. If it's clothing, we tell them the hours. They can just bring their identification up, and they can get bags of clothing twice a month. If it's rental assistance, we try to help with that when funds are available. So we do everything over the phone. So we do pre-screening over the phone and set them up to the best of our ability.
How about for the donation side of things? If people have used clothing they want to donate and that, or money if they want to donate that, how do they get that to you?
Our hours are from 9 to 4, Monday through Friday. You can just bring it in. Right now, we're very blessed with ladies' clothes. What we really need is men's clothes because you guys don't get rid of anything.
We don't.
You don't. You save it forever. And household items. So household items and men's clothing we really are in need of.
I had a friend giving me a hard time over the weekend because I've got the socks I wear.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, well, you need new socks. I said, why? They still cover my feet.
She mentioned the men's clothes, and then you said you don't throw anything out, and I got thinking, how many pairs of underwear do I have that look like they've been hit with a shotgun? Right. Now, throughout the year, Dianne, what other kind of stuff does Mission for Area People do to raise funds? I mean, you guys must have, a campaign here or there, maybe an event? What kind of things?
We have our Taste of Music. We just celebrated our 10th anniversary on that. We have that in October. In May, we will have our Music for Meds. We have that at the Watermark. That's scheduled for May 22nd. And we have the Mark Caney Trio from Grand Rapids coming in with Mary Rademacher. This past year, Family Financial Credit Union had adopted us for the whole year.
Oh,
and
cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
We did the Hampton Farm this year. We were selected to have a fundraiser at the Hampton Farm this year, and we're hoping for next year as well. So we do some fundraisers like that, and then we do our letters, our end of year giving letter, and then we'll do a Easter Lenten letter. So
tell me, you're 25 years of this. Tell me about a moment that somebody came into the place and just blew you away. I mean, something out of the blue. Somebody just stopped in. And they're like, you know what? I got this gift. I want to give it to you. Can you pick out a situation
Absolutely.
or two?
Absolutely. Just happened about a week or so ago. A gentleman came in and didn't give his name, but he came in with 6 long-stemmed red roses. And he gave one to me. He gave one to my assistant and one to my other assistant. And he was going downstairs to give one to the supper house cook. And I just said, well, can I tell them who these roses are from? And he just says, no, just somebody who really appreciates what you're doing in the community. And I said, oh, well, thank you. And then he just gave me a hug, and he said, you're an angel, and he walked out the door.
That was it.
That was it, and that was awesome. I mean, so what we do really means a lot to a lot of people in our community. And
yeah.
We appreciate that.
How about a big one? Has anybody come in and just dropped off a check out of the blue that you didn't expect?
Oh, yeah. We've had some nice checks. Some good ones. Yeah, we get some nice ones in the mail. I got a call from a lady this past week who hadn't heard about us, but she heard from a friend of hers what we do, and I told her, and she says, well, I'll be giving you a donation. It'll be coming through the Community Foundation. And I said, okay. Yeah. And then kind of asked talked about her name, and they said, "Oh, she comes from money." I said, "Okay, I'll be looking for the mailman."
Do you find that most of the big donations like that, people like to be anonymous when they give that stuff?
No,
No?
no,
Okay.
no. I haven't really had an anonymous donor, other than the guy with the roses.
Right.
But no, I haven't.
You know what I like the best, and I hate to say this because I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Look how teary her eyes got when she started talking about the roses.
Oh, yeah.
The guy that came in with the roses. I mean, it doesn't have to be a big gift.
Very seldom do you ever hear anybody say thank you for what you do, whether it's very seldom, and that really means a lot to the people
Sure.
that work at MAP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Diane, it's nice of you to stop in this morning, and we wish you a Merry Christmas. We hope
Thank
that
you.
the next year, and you know what, the door's open. If you need to come in and talk about MAP and financial needs or volunteer needs or any event you might have coming up, that's why we put this station on the air.
That's
Is
awesome.
to give you
Thank
that
you so
opportunity
much.
to come in and talk about that. So,
Thank you.
Is there a website?
Yeah, it's www.missionfairyapeople.org.
Mission for Area People. We'll put that all on MuskegonRadio.com as well. Diane, thanks so much for the
Thank
work
you
you
for
do.
having me.
And hey, you know what? Go get some flowers.
Go hand them out. Right.
Go give her a dozen of them, Scott. We gotta one up the anonymous guy. Diane, thanks for coming in. Best
Thank
of luck
you.
for the holidays. The Mission for Area People doing what they can for the folks in Muskegon.